Remember, we've got aircraft today all the way through until about 5:15. Over 36 aircraft, including some which we will tell you now will make sure you'll have to cover your ears for some of the faster jets coming through. But in the meantime, the sounds of the turboprops of the Pilatus aircraft as they come around for their second approach. One other unusual fact about this aircraft is they're fitted with ejector seats, so if they don't like the view, they can pop out. So here they come around the Pigeon House chimneys, lining up again up the River Liffey. From 1,700 feet, descending to 800 and back up to 1,700 again as they pass the Matt Talbot Bridge. Today's Flightfest is brought to you by BBAM and Fly Leasing. The Air Corps is the air component of the Permanent Defence Forces here in Ireland, based at Casement Aerodrome in Baldonnel. Today, approximately 750 men and women serve in the Air Corps, each making a unique and significant contribution to their roles. The Air Corps has recently completed a major fleet upgrade programme, and many of its older aircraft have been replaced by modern, state-of-the-art military aircraft. The primary roles of the Air Corps include observation and reconnaissance, local fire support, command and control, casualty evacuation, national security, and the protection of national resources. And later in our flight pass today, we're going to see the two CASA aircraft of Neptune section. That's them, actually. That CASA's left. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, looking out to the coast, two CASA aircraft. Neptune section aircraft today. The leader aircraft is being flown by the aircraft captain, who's Commandant Conrath Walsh, with Captain Fabius Cassili is the co-pilot. Second aircraft is Captain Brendan O'Dowd, and Lieutenant Stephen Connolly is the co-pilot on the CASA CN235 aircraft. And if you were around Dublin over the last couple of days, you may have even seen these aircraft as they've done their practice session as well. The Air Corps currently operate two CASA Maritime Patrol aircraft. They entered service in 1994, and they operate 7 days a week, usually in offshore maritime patrol areas. So they're patrolling for fishing vessels and other activity in the Atlantic and Irish Sea. They work together with the naval vessels as well, part of a 101 squadron with an aerial platform for patrolling Ireland's economic zone. Next, from the Air Corps, they currently operate two CASA CN235 Maritime Patrol aircraft. These aircraft entered service in 1994 and operate 7 days a week, usually in the offshore maritime patrol arena. Working in close conjunction with the naval service, the two CASA CN235 Maritime Patrol aircraft of 101 Squadron provide an aerial platform for patrolling the Irish economic zone. Wonderful. So the two aircraft, the CASs from Neptune section, are heading over towards Dunleary, where they'll form up with Eagle section, the PC-9s, for a return. But that makes airspace now for Hawkeye, well, for the next aircraft section of the Irish Air Corps, which is Wolf section. And this is the call sign of the helicopters today. We have 3 helicopters, 2 AW139s. You will have seen one of them at the beginning of the show as it flew past with the national flag. And we also have the leader of the Wolf section today, which is the Eurocopter EC-135 aircraft.
AW139 opened our show today, flying the Irish flag, and now 3 of them return for today's flypast. The Air Corps currently operates 6 Augusta Westland AW139 helicopters. These aircraft first entered service in November 2006 and are used mainly in the Army support and air ambulance role. The 139 is a medium-lift, twin-engined helicopter with a troop lifting capacity of up to 14 people in their normal configuration. It can be equipped with 2 machine guns for its air support role.
The Air Corps took delivery of its first 2 Augusta Westland AW139 aircraft in November 2006, and there are currently 6 of this type in service. The aircraft's a medium-lift, twin-engine helicopter with a troop lifting capacity of 14 people in a normal configuration. 3 aircraft today, 2 AW139s and 1 EC-135, which is the introductory training helicopter used for helicopter pilots as part of the Air Corps training. Ladies and gentlemen, the aircraft of Wolf section of the Irish Air Corps. The 2 139 aircraft can also be equipped with 2 machine guns for air support roles, and the machine guns are mounted in the forward windows of the aircraft, and they don't affect the troop carrying capabilities of that same aircraft. It can also be modified for a fully independent life support stretcher, which can be carried in the cabin as well, and they've been used in many cases for medical evacuation. The other aircraft you saw there, the one with the aircraft leader in it, is the EC-135 aircraft. There are 2 of those currently in Air Corps service, and you'll also see the same aircraft being used by the Garda Air Support unit as well, based at Baldonnel.
Today's Flightfest is brought to you by GE Capital Aviation Services. Flightfest is brought to you by Oryx Aviation.
That was loud. I heard that up here.
Today's Flightfest
Before
is
we give a
brought to
name
you
check
by
at this stage to
SMBC
the pilots
Aviation
and
Capital.
the aircrew operating the Wolf section aircraft today. The leader aircraft in the EC-135, the aircraft in the centre, is Captain Kieran Dignan. We've got Lieutenant Colonel Sean Clancy, who's the aircraft captain on the number 2 aircraft. His co-pilot is Lieutenant Stephen Morrison. And in the back of the aircraft is Corporal Patrick Keaveney. In aircraft number 3, Captain Seamus McNamara with Lieutenant Brendan O'Raw in the Augusta Westland AW135 aircraft, which are coming back up the Liffey on their second run. A couple of interesting pieces of information about the work of the Air Corps. Over 50,000 litres of water were dropped on forest fires in Donegal in May of 2012. They've operated 128 emergency aeromedical service operations and 100 air ambulance missions in 2012. And in, again, that same year, the helicopter crews were able to carry out air and sea rescue support for 10 search and rescue top cover missions, which is where they provided aerial support for other aircraft and other ships involved in rescue. And 100 missions in the protection of our natural resources and habitats. All work being done by the Irish Air Corps on our behalf. Flying line astern, the second pass from the Wolf section of the Irish Air Corps. And the sun has arrived. Give me 2 seconds. We still have a wonderful lineup of aircraft for you all the way through until about 5:15 today. Still to come, some very noisy and very fast jets. Stay with us for Flightfest 2013.
Today's Flightfest is brought to you by SMBC Aviation Capital.
Yes. Yeah, so you're the noise desk, are you? Yeah, no, the Strike Master hopefully is next, is it?
It's a fairly small jet, the Strike Master. It's noisy enough, but
it's 10.
Strike Master's
What is?
there anyway.
Are we getting the Pilatus back? Are they whole locked together or not? Is there one more tweak?
They'll be off the line in 6 minutes, so you will get.
So there's one more pass, yeah.
And then it's the Strike Master.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it's the City Jet. So
Perfect. Thank you.
The order is on.
That's all I need. That's great. It's getting harder to see out with people on the balcony, which is supposed to be kept clear. Strike Master will be next after the Air Corps flight past. One more flight past of all the aircraft together. Yeah, so there's no profiles needed or anything. And then Strike Master. At this point, all of the Air Corps aircraft are liaising together out over the Irish Sea, out beyond Dunleary, and are going to give us one final fly past of all of the aircraft together. So this is a good photo opportunity to see so many of the Air Corps aircraft in the air simultaneously over the one spot at Flightfest 2013. A spectacular sight, ladies and gentlemen. If you look down over the Eastlink Bridge, the two Casas, the PC-9s and the helicopters, Wolf, Eagle and Neptune sections of the Irish Air Corps in formation for Flightfest 2013.
Okay, thank you. I was told they were. Okay. 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 Who's the child is there? Is there? Tyrrell. Okay.
And now an unusual piece of information for you, but we are looking for the parents or guardians of Josh Tyrrell. The young man is at the PwC building in the company of the Gardaí, who are keeping him safe. So if you are looking for Josh, make your way to the PwC building and contact the Gardaí who are there.
Done.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we thank the Irish Air Corps for a superb display as part of Flightfest today as they head back towards Baldonnel. The sun is starting to do its bit, clearing the skies. We're in a very fortunate position for the remainder of the show if it can keep this way. Remember, we've got the Airbus A380, we have the B-17, we have the Hunter aircraft, we have the Sabre, we have the Catalina, and so many more. And just to make me look foolish, that isn't the Air Corps saying goodbye, because they like the view so much, they're going to do it one more time.
What can you do? Oh yeah, please. Oh yeah. I didn't get the end of that.
Flightfest is brought to you by Airbus.
A couple of these out, will we?
Today's Flightfest is brought to you by Thales.
To get you to capture snap there for me, because
I just pretend I'm talking nothing. Yeah. Oh, me, Mike.
thank you. Yeah, go.
Flightfest is brought to you today by Capita and KPMG.
Neptune is coming first, followed by the Strike Master. there will be a gap. It's the other one's not part of the formation.
That's what I thought so.
For the purposes of safety regulations.
Yeah, that's it. Lots of people are tweeting their photographs today. The hashtag for today's event is Flightfest, hashtag Flightfest. And one of the questions that came into us there was what the frequency is if you want to listen to the air traffic controllers today. Well, you need to tune your airband radio to 119.6 and you'll be able to hear the aircraft being given instructions by the controllers. Both Gwen and Mihal are here in the tower at the PwC building, operating with radar and visually. And under the direct control at the moment, our Neptune section, with Eagle section making one final pass down the river today. Or up the river is the case, maybe. Is it lovely?
It's right behind me.
Is he?
Near it, he's just coming over about 5 k's out.
Okay, so I'd run it as soon as they go past. Yeah, he's going to be fast here. Can actually, yeah. Save it for the second pass. Yeah. And looking straight out to the sea again. Keep your eyes on. The lights are on for the first of our 3 runs today from the Strike Master. Strike Master today is being flown by Mark Petrie. Built in 1969 and flown in countries like Botswana, Ecuador, Kenya, Kuwait and New Zealand, Singapore, Sudan and Oman. This aircraft showing smoke today as well. It's a brand new system added only recently. At 1700 feet, coming down to 800 for Flightfest on the Liffey. And then
Flightfest is brought to you by NL Goodbody and Dublin Air. Next aircraft made a great impact this year at the Bray Air Show, and we're delighted to welcome back to Irish skies the BAE Strike Master. It's a very tough aircraft. It has an armoured cockpit, a single but robust Rolls-Royce Viper engine and manual flying controls. Manual controls mean the aircraft feels quite heavy to fly at a high speed, although it's still very manoeuvrable.
so we're getting an extra treat today of 3 runs from this aircraft. Top speed of 450 knots. You can go up to 35,000 feet. When in military service, it carried 2 machine guns internally, or 32 rockets. It's a single engine aircraft, a Rolls-Royce Viper engine. And this particular aircraft was imported by Mark Petrie in 2004 from Oman, and it remains in the immaculate grey training colour scheme that that country used for its aircraft. It's actually the youngest of all the Strike Masters ever produced. This aircraft has been available since, as I said, 1969. And has come over to us today from North Wales, the short journey over the Irish Sea. So it's smoke on again. Coming in over the East Link Bridge, the Strike Master. Mark shows this aircraft all over Europe. A lovely simple construction to this airplane. Talking to Mark about it recently, he says the aircraft is quite a heavy feel to it based on the hydraulic system in it. And one of the things that the designers built into the aircraft was that it has the ability to take fire without any of the control surfaces suffering any great deal of damage. So a very simple construction to the aircraft makes it a very, very robust aircraft as well. Some of the aircraft that you're going to see flying overhead today will be noticeable, particularly for how quiet they are. Coming up later, for example, the latest aircraft, the AERTV 72-600, will be one of the quietest aircraft you'll hear today. We've also got some aircraft that you're not going to forget when you hear them in terms of the noise they generate. We'll tell you more about those as we expect them.
Flightfest is brought to you today in association with PwC.
So as the Strike Master comes around for its final pass for us, we can already hear on air traffic control the next aircraft reporting its position over a checkpoint called Purdy. The aircraft coming on the way is the CityJet aircraft, the RJ85.
From the noise and speed of the Strike Master to the first of the Whisper jets to enter service, the quiet sound of the four-engined Avro RJ85, operated by CityJet, operating in Ireland since 1994. Powered by 4 Honeywell LF507 turbofan engines, it's specifically designed to perform on shorter runways, essential for CityJet's operations into airports like London City Airport.
And if you're following on the ATC frequencies, you'll have heard First Officer Sarah Louise Gibbons, who's the first officer on the CityJet aircraft, doing all of the radio calls. The aircraft today is being flown by Captain David Bossang. This aircraft, particularly noted as one of the very first Whisper jets, as we mentioned in the promo. 4 engines on this aircraft mean into and out of airports that have noise restrictions, particularly airports like London City. This aircraft, of course, proudly carrying the colours of Leinster Rugby. Back in May of 2012, CityJet unveiled a new Leinster livery on the aircraft, which is EIRJX, one of the Avro RJ85s of the airline. And the design of the new Leinster-themed livery was used in the traditional blue colours. And as the engineers are very proud to tell us, this paint is new technology paint in that it's weight saving. It lasts for a longer time and has a shiny wet look. And it's only 0.075 millimeters thick on the aircraft. Incredibly light, giving a total weight on the entire aircraft of only 75 kilos. That might be excess baggage on some airlines.
Cheers, thank you for the drink, somebody. No, I got one, thank you.
There's a space there just after the flyby and the AW139 is going to come up the lift.
We have that one, yeah, that's right. Go, yeah.
Flightfest today is brought to you in association with Dublin Bus and Irish Rail.
I just have to keep shooting along here, yeah. Finally people got out of my way. I couldn't see past them. There's very little happening on Twitter. I thought there'd be more of it. Are they happy enough for the crowds? I can't see. It's huge. Is it? Oh, yeah. That show went so well. Should have got some pictures on the boat while we're doing the show. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Just brilliant. Oh, no, that's good. That's good. Sure, are you happy? Can you see this? Yeah, I know. The show actually was good on the boat. It worked quite well, even though we got soaked. I'm missing something. Oh, it's air pencil. Hold on. I'll fill there, yeah? Okay.
The Avro RJ85 operates with 4 crew, that's 2 pilots and 2 cabin crew. Travels at 475 miles an hour, has a range of 1,600 miles and carries 95 passengers. CityJet, which is part of the Air France group, operates the aircraft out of Dublin to London City and to other destinations.
When the Ryanair comes round, because the one after it has got a slight tech and their contractor's ATR,
Oh, good.
we're going to get the Ryanair to do 3 runs with Aidan Murray.
Aidan Murray is
Yes,
flying.
Aidan Murray from Donna Bate, you can say.
Thank you, I need that. That's perfect.
Well, yeah, they might come back in a minute.
So that snuck up on me.
No, it's okay. The aircraft you just seen past is one of the newest aircraft in Ireland. It was only delivered from the factory on Friday. Registration of the aircraft is EIFAV Alpha Victor. Being flown today by Captain Katrina Murphy and First Officer John Lynham. The aircraft is operated by Aer Arann on behalf of Aer Lingus Regional and operates on many of the Aer Lingus routes to Ireland, within Ireland and the UK. It's a franchise agreement between Aer Arann and Aer Lingus, and it looks towards the expansion of the agreement until 2022. Katrina has worked with Aer Arann for 13 years. She joined Aer Arann after completing her flight training and was initially appointed as the first officer on the Short 360. She's almost 7,000 hours of flying experience, with over 6,000 on the ATR aircraft. And coming back into view now is our CityJet aircraft.
Great.
Our plans to keep them coming thick and fast for you today. Nice to be drowned out by the ship's horn.
Did I say horn?
What'd you do? Humphreys was standing there. He said, this is a fucking zoo. Did you ever get the fuck out of it? I'm sorry, I'm going. And he was gone like a fish.
It's unbelievable. You couldn't see anything. And all the shouts there was about people on the boat.
Yep.
A fly past next from the greenest aircraft in the skies. That's the boast of Aer Aran's AERTV 72-600, offering several factors that make it an environmentally friendly aircraft. Low emissions of CO2 due to reduced fuel burn, 70% lower fuel consumption than a jet on similar routes, and new standards in the industry for quietness. The AERTV 72 is a twin-engine turboprop short-haul regional airline built by the French-Italian aircraft manufacturer AERTV. AERTV and Airbus are both built in Toulouse and share resources and technology. It seats up to 72 passengers in a single-class configuration, and it's operated by a two-pilot crew.